Well, I got my murder shows and comfy clothes shirt on, so let's watch some BuzzFeed Unsolved True Crime. And this one is about the mysterious death of George Reeves. I believe one of the theories is that he decided to, unalive himself, so there's like a suicide warning and stuff, so yeah, this one is like suicide warning. I should probably read this because I know the things are roast. This episode contains sensitive subject matter pertaining to suicide. And by the way, in case you hear me doing weird cause, that's because my allergy pills are kicked in. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health or self-harm, there are professional resources. There are resources available online to speak directly with a trained professional or to find local community outreach services. If you're in the U.S., you can visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org or call them at 1-800-273-8255. I'm gonna work on a blanket while we watch this.
On the season premiere of the final season of BuzzFeed Unsolved True Crime, we covered...
That's right, once we're done with this season, we're gonna be watching their Watcher stuff.
The death of Superman, or at least a man who played Superman on TV, George Reeves.
Let's put some kryptonite in his Cocoa Puffs.
Already being a dick?
Hey, we're having fun.
Just
Good to be
kryptonite
back
sprinkles.
on the desk.
That's right. Before we started rolling here, Shane actually walked around and slithered around the set like a slug, making sure all parts of his body
I got
touched.
my slime everywhere.
Ew.
Do you know anything about George Reeves? I know this is one of the many incarnations of Superman, but
No, I was always more of a Batman guy.
who brought this this Twitter avatar to life? A guy who's going to air out a grievance about Batman versus Superman on camera.
My parents, my Mark and Sherry Madej, they brought me to life. They said, "Ooh, this one's going to be good for the internet."
Jesus Christ.
Anyway.
And they were wrong. Let's get into it.
George Kiefer Brewster.
Hell of a name.
You're going to get into banter after saying 3 words.
I think it can't go without saying that that's a fun name.
George Kiefer Brewster was
What kind of middle name is Kiefer anyway? Who the hell names or did that?
born in Woolstock, Iowa on January 5th, 1914. When he was 15, George moved to Pasadena, California with his mother. There, he excelled as a musician, an amateur boxer, and an actor at the Pasadena Playhouse, where he was discovered by a casting director. He signed a contract with Warner Brothers and was cast in a minor role in Gone with the Wind.
I love a multi-hyphenate.
Yeah.
You're a multi-hyphenate, right? Host, actor, asshole,
Puppet Man.
puppet man,
Owner
of limbs.
We own bridge.
big head owner.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Well, I want to be a tap dancer, but you won't go to those classes with me.
I've offlined with you several times about getting those tap dance
Yeah.
lessons, and you never returned
Well,
my
suddenly
text.
it was, oh, there's a pandemic. We can't go tap dancing.
Yeah.
Excuses, excuses.
Well, the pandemic's a pretty big
In
one.
1943, George played the lead in the film So Proudly We Hail and was on the cusp of stardom before being sent to war. After returning, George struggled to regain traction in his movie career and shifted to the burgeoning world of live television.
That's good.
Yeah, that's basically today's version of becoming a streamer.
So he shows up, there's an orchestra or something.
Yeah, I'm
They're
sure.
doing ads for cigarettes.
Doing a little dance, shaking his hiney.
I'm going to be Superman one day. Punch me.
That's gonna be gift or GIF depending on what
I
camp you
don't know what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
I mean, I
In
use both.
1952, Reeves was cast as the lead in the television show Adventures of Superman. Today, being selected as the lead of a comic book-based series means you're financially set. But in the 50s, neither comic books nor television were the big money makers they are today. While the show didn't make Reeves rich, it did make him famous,
Nice.
specifically as the face of Superman.
Sorry to stop us again. That's the worst combination.
I was just going to say, stinks.
Yeah, when you're famous and not rich, not a good thing
No.
to be. Because he can't go to the places where people will be priced out.
I guess the
Yeah.
one benefit to it is if someone stops you in a park, you could be like, yes, I am Superman.
Yeah.
Give me some money.
Well, I was gonna say that would look like a cry for help if you were like, please, I'm famous, give me some money. But then I realized
Yeah.
that's basically just cameo.
It's cameo.
Yeah.
Should we start doing that?
No.
It's our final season. Let's cameo.
No.
Yeah, if you're on
Hi, it's me, a
web
ghost
series.
hunter that your children love.
Hey, Jan, someone told me it's your birthday, and I want to say, wow, hope it's spooky.
Now check out what I'm about to do with this ping pong ball.
Unfortunately for Reeves, because everyone knew him as the
Oh, he
man
got
of steel,
typecast.
Reeves found it impossible to book any non-Kryptonian roles. George
Oh,
began to struggle with
no.
alcohol and sought ways to take better financial advantage of being Superman. Reeves began appearing in promotions in his Superman costume and booking exhibition wrestling events. While they provided a little extra cash, these extra appearances also involved assuming more danger. One unverified story featured a young boy attending a Superman
Oh,
appearance
fuck.
with a loaded gun, hoping to see if bullets really did bounce off his hero. According to the story, Reeves quickly explained to the boy that while the bullets would indeed bounce off of him, they would then ricochet into the crowd and take down innocent
Oh,
bystanders. The
That was
fake
smart of
worked,
him.
and the boy was disarmed.
That's very smart.
I wonder what got this
smart.
kid in the mindset that this guy's obviously an imposter. Like he's treating Superman like Santa Claus. Like I've never thought I'm gonna put the fireplace on when Santa comes and see if he's actually special.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'd hate to see what happens at this kid's house on Christmas morning. Dad's going to put the presents under the tree, and in the dark part of the corner of the room, you just see a cigarette get lit. Thought you could fool me, huh, Pops?
Just sitting in the chair with his loaded gun.
Yeah, just like this. Another Christmas, huh?
Flicks it at the tree. And
Another. Just lights up like another lie.
By 1959, Reeves had appeared in over 100 episodes of Superman.
You'd think I'd give
He
him
had
money, but
begun
apparently he
dating
didn't.
Leonore Lemon, a New York socialite who had previously been married to a Vanderbilt heir, and reports even state he and Lemon were making plans to soon be married. On June 15th, the couple left Reeves's home at 1579 Benedict Canyon Drive in Beverly Hills for dinner and drinks. House guest and writer Robert Condon, who was planning on writing a book on Reeves, stayed behind. Reeves and Lemon returned to the house around 11 p.m. Around midnight, Reeves climbed the steps to the upstairs bedroom, retiring for the night. Around this time, reports say Lemon went to turn on the porch light, a signal meant to indicate the home was open for visitors, even
What?
though it was after midnight in the
That
early
is
hours
sus.
of Tuesday morning.
That's a cheeky little system. Turn on the porch light, stop on by.
Is that a thing? Maybe that's a 50s thing? I know now I turn on the porch light to ward off would-be intruders and to let them know that I mean business and I have a
you
katana
got your, I
inside.
was gonna
I
say,
turn on the porch lights to see where the fuck I'm going outside.
got that katana drawn and
That's-
ready. And the thing is, it's a warning, but it's also an invite because they open that door and you're there. He doesn't sleep.
Oh no, I'd be waiting there and I'd be like, I've been waiting for this moment.
Welcome to your end. The quick like, and you're like, did he twitch? And then suddenly, you just slide.
I love that moment in any samurai film when someone does like a quick movement and you're like, did he miss? He didn't.
Did Vergara never misses,
He never miss.
except when he hunts ghosts.
Lemon's inviting light apparently did the trick, as soon two neighbors swung
What the
by,
fuck?
William Bliss and Carol Van Ronkel. There were rumors that Van Ronkel was having an affair with Condon, but Bliss was likely a total stranger in the Reeves household. Around 1 a.m., Reeves came back downstairs, quote, in no mood for a party, end quote. Reeves was reportedly visibly irritated and threatened to throw Bliss out of his home.
What was his
That's
beef
fair.
with
It's 1
Bliss?
a.m. on a Tuesday.
I got the guy was a fucking stranger.
Yeah. I mean,
If anybody showed up to my house on a 1 a.m. on a Tuesday, I'm calling the police.
have you
Yeah.
actually ever said get out of my home to anybody?
No, that sounds thrilling, though.
I know, right?
Get out of my home! Go!
Please see yourself out.
That's good, too.
That's good. Or just do one of these. You can leave now.
Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
After a bit, Reeves apologized for his bad mood and
Look, he's
turned to
sleepy.
walk back upstairs. Police reports describe what happened next. Lemon, Condon, Van Ronkel, and Bliss listened as Reeves climbed the stairs. They heard his bedside drawer slide open, and then a single gunshot. Bliss ran upstairs and discovered the dead body of George Reeves on the bed. When police arrived, Lemon,
Okay, so I heard this story before, and like a couple years ago, and I could have sworn that it was Lenore who found the body.
Condon, Bliss, and Van Ronkel were drinking together downstairs. Reeves was found naked, lying on the blood-soaked bed with his feet on the ground. He had been shot in the right temple. A bullet casing was found under his body, and a 9mm German Luger was on the ground between his feet.
Okay, it's not simply you
Blood
got that
splatter
from
traveled
wartime.
all the way to the ceiling, where the bullet was lodged.
I assume they're drinking nervously at this
That
point.
is a weird
I feel like
angle.
maybe though, I hear a gunshot and my husband's upstairs. It's not, let's pour another cocktail. Also weird that the one person who ran up the stairs was the guy he didn't even know. It was Bliss.
He probably went up, saw it, and was like, look, there's
Okay.
nothing we can do here. You need to call the police.
I think that's fair. Maybe they were
Yeah.
rattled, and you've been rattled enough. When
Oh,
you
sure.
You need like to pour yourself a cold one.
Yeah.
That's me in every haunted house I go into. And I can barely get the glass to my lips. It
Yeah.
just goes all over my clothes. So we'll see. Let's see where this goes.
Okay.
With the crime scene set, it's time to go into theories about what happened to George Reeves. Our first theory is the same conclusion drawn by the Los Angeles coroner's office: suicide. According to the coroner's report, quote, the position of Reeves's body on the bed, the angle of the bullet's path, and the autopsy findings all point to
What the fuck does liced mean?
suicide, end quote. Reeves had put the gun to his right temple and fired. Simple as that. Somewhat suspiciously, Lemon, Reeves's fiancée, jokingly predicted George was going to kill himself moments before his death.
That's
The
weird.
police report states that when Reeves left to go back upstairs, Lemon told the downstairs group, quote, he is going to shoot himself, end quote. When
That
the
is
foursome next
kinda
heard the
weird.
bedside drawer open, Lemon went further, saying, quote, he is getting the gun out now, and he is going to shoot himself, end quote.
Did you bully
According
your
to the
fiancé
LA
into killing
Times
himself?
report the next day, Lemon claimed she was, quote, only kidding, as she grimly narrated the death of her fiancé.
Do you think she kept going like, well, I bet he shot himself. They're taking the body out. Oh, I guess he's dead.
First off, even if she is joking, it is weird that she had enough context to make that joke, to assume that that's what he's going to do. You have a fiance who clearly is distressed. You don't go upstairs to check on him?
I don't even bother. I'm having drinks with my friends.
It's just an odd scenario, is
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Strange.
Many
weird.
point to Reeves's stalled career as a potential explanation for taking his own life. The only non-Superman roles he'd had of late were either greatly scaled back or featured him wearing heavy disguises, so audiences wouldn't associate him with the Man of Steel. Turner Classic Movies, however, has reported that rumors about Reeves's stagnated career may have been exaggerated. TCM suggests that, apart from upcoming seasons of Superman, Reeves was being considered for the role of Detective Milton Arbogast in Alfred Hitchcock's upcoming film, Psycho.
Also, want to point out, and it goes without saying, a lot of times we see this in these cases where we have suicide as a theory, and people often say, well, he had no reason to commit suicide. He didn't show any
Yeah.
signs. That's often not the case. You don't need
Yeah.
a sign to commit suicide.
Yeah.
I think we could put the
You
kibosh
didn't
on that
put a
line of
note or
thought right there.
anything.
Apparently, Lemon knew, though. I could say that.
Yeah.
She seemed to have a pretty finger on the pulse on that one.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that
she
she's
sure did.
Nostradamus, but she sure seemed to have the inside scoop.
According to E.J. Fleming, author of the book The Fixers, which in part details the circumstances around George's death, there were also several incongruities with the way in which the body was found. Reeves was totally naked,
Yeah.
meaning he'd either had to have been naked when he went downstairs, a detail that the guests likely would have remembered,
Yeah.
or between returning to his bedroom and shooting himself, he would have had to strip to the nude, an uncommon
little bit
occurrence
sus.
in suicides.
It's kind of
The
weird.
location of the body, bullet, gun, and shell casing relative to one another are also somewhat suspicious.
Yeah,
Fleming
like, they just don't
argues
make a lot
that
of
George
sense.
most likely would have fallen forward, not backwards.
Hold on, Uncle Scotland. Yes, I checked on the goats. The baby goats are fine. One of Yeah?
Dana wake up already?
Yeah.
Oh, tell Mary call me. I want to go tomorrow, not today.
Oh, okay, I'll tell her as soon as I'm done doing the reaction video.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Onto the bed. For the bullet to make it to the ceiling, George's head would have had to have been nearly horizontal at the time of firing. For
Yeah,
this
it's
to
like
have
a
been true,
weird one.
would expect the gun to have been found either on George's side or still in his hand, not on the floor between his feet. Finally, the bullet casing would likely have been on the floor, not underneath the body, according to Fleming.
I just think the way gravity works and the way the positioning, if your head has to be horizontal like this, you're leaned over to an extent, so I would
Yeah.
think you would fall forward.
So his head would have to be sort of facing the ceiling, but then the force of it, I would think, would sort of knock him back a little.
Oh, because of the actual, the force of the
Yeah.
bullet hitting you.
Yeah.
I guess then the gun could fall between his legs. Yeah, so maybe it's possible. I don't think it's likely.
Reeves's
What about the
mother
shell casing?
publicly contested the suicide theory, convinced her son would not have killed himself, and there were no reports of a suicide note.
Yeah,
there
no
are
note.
some reports that, before a full autopsy could take place, the body had already been embalmed, or at least
no.
washed, meaning traces of gunpowder that would have been on his hands or face had he fired the gun himself were long gone.
We've talked about the LAPD a lot and sort of the whole system. They seem like they've long been not up to regulation on a lot of things.
Yeah,
We've also
it's
seen the
sus.
commingling of the studio system with
Yeah.
LAPD.
Yeah.
And we've seen how that could kind of work out. So not saying that that's the case here. It's a possibility, though.
Some reports also detail unexplained bruises on his body, and according to Fleming, George's trainer who had seen him earlier that day did not see any bruises on him.
He didn't have any bruises when I was beating the shit out of him earlier in the day.
He didn't have any bruises when he was training with me. I just don't think that's a thing. The bruises
Yeah.
could appear later. He could have like bumped into something. I've stubbed
Yeah.
my toe, ow, think I broke my
Ow,
toe.
uh-oh, did
and
I break
whatnot.
it? Yeah.
Maybe I fall, hit the
Yeah.
coffee table.
The
and I
coffee
was-
table shatters.
And I
you
broke
got
something
cuts all over
that was
you.
maybe priceless and
crawl
not
through the
replaceable.
glass.
And I had to explain it wasn't
Laurie comes
intentional.
home, you're in a pool of your own blood.
Yeah.
She's like, Ryan, what happened?
We've all been there, is what
You're
I'm
like,
saying.
it's no big deal.
Were you there? How did you know? Did you bug my house?
Our next theory is that George was accidentally shot, perhaps by Lemon. This would, of course, mean the 3 other people in the house covered for her, which seems like
Yeah.
a bit of a long shot, but bear with me. Lemon was known for her, quote, Vesuvian temper tantrum,
Oh.
and despite the fact that she claimed she and George were about to be wed, George apparently never publicly acknowledged this. An article in April even reported their wedding was off. Perhaps Lemon was upset at George's lack of commitment, resulting in a fight where Lemon accidentally shot George. Bolstering this theory's case is the fact that, in addition to the one that had passed through George's brain, 2 other bullets from the same gun had been shot through the floor of the bedroom.
Yeah, I
When
think maybe
asked
it's been
about
the
these,
might have
Lemon
been the
claimed
fiance.
one was from an accident a few days prior when she was, quote, fooling around with the Luger. No explanation was ever given for the other bullet. Despite this, LA Police Chief William Parker told the press he believed the extra bullets were of no significance.
I think they
Soon
should
after
be.
George's death, Lemon left for New York, never to return to LA again.
First off, they absolutely are of significance because this is somebody
Yeah.
with the murder weapon who has shot said weapon in the room the person was conceivably murdered in. I feel like that's pretty significant, but I'm not a
Yeah.
cop.
It's fishy business right there. I still don't think there's funny business going on here, but I'm inching away from that.
The body was washed. She shot the gun.
I'm inching!
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
it's
one of
just,
those little worms, that's me. I'm slowly moving away from the old Will.
Inch your way away from me.
Our final theory is that Reeves was murdered,
Yeah.
possibly the result of being ensnared in a web of bitter lovers. While reports state that Reeves was set to marry Lemon, he had only begun seeing her about 6 months before his death. For most of the 1950s, George was practically married to a different woman, one Toni Mannix. Practically married was the best the couple could do, as Toni was already married to one Eddie Mannix. Eddie was an infamous fixer in Hollywood who built a career for himself solving, quote, problems for MGM co-founder and studio head Louis B. Mayer. Such problems ranged from gambling to the mob, from abortions to even rape and death. Eddie's life even loosely inspired the film Hail Caesar. Because of this job, Mannix would have been very familiar with using dirty methods to get what he wanted. He had grown up with unsolved alumnus Bugsy Siegel and was said to have connections with LA mobster Mickey Cohen. Eddie was even thought to have had his first wife killed in 1937 in a car accident.
I would say in the echelon of dudes who you don't want to fool around with his wife, probably up there.
Yeah, it's like sleeping with Al Capone's wife.
Or like, I don't know, a Shaq.
A Shaq?
Shaquille O'Neal sleeping with his wife, probably a bad call.
Well, he could sleep with his own wife.
No, if I were to sleep with his wife.
If you were to sleep with Shaquille O'Neal's wife, all respect to Shaq. We love
All
the
respect.
guy.
That's what I'm saying. I would
Ryan
never.
is not going to...
I don't think Shaq would, like... I'm not sure if Shaq would beat someone up, or... Let's face it, Shaq's tall enough to, like, just be like, hey, please don't sleep with my wife, and you, like, listen to him.
Shaq, you have my word. I will never, ever sleep with your wife, your girlfriend, or whoever you're seeing at the time. You have it.
Despite Eddie's serious line of business, George likely did not feel threatened
Shaq's,
by
like,
Mannix while he was
from what I've
dating the
seen.
fixer's wife. In fact, by all appearances, Eddie fully supported Toni and George's affair. Eddie would sometimes tag along with Toni on her dates with George, sometimes as a third wheel.
That's gonna be awkward.
Other times, bringing his own mistress along. There are even reports that George would go on vacation with the Mannixes, with Eddie bringing
fucking weird.
another woman in addition to his wife. At
Like,
the
it could've
time
been
of his
pretty
death,
agreed on.
Reeves' house, car, even his clothes had all been paid for by Toni.
Well, this sounds fun.
This seems very progressive, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
It's
has been a very
weird.
dark story, so I like the whimsical turn here.
I just like the idea of them all just getting breakfast together. They're at the Polynesian in Disney World or something. It's like, hey, did you fuck my wife last night? Yeah.
Did you pass the syrup?
We're all fucking each other. Pass the cantaloupe.
Yeah, they have like a little clock and timer set, a scoreboard maybe in the room. Like, all right, tag in, subs.
He still sounds like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Due to Eddie's tolerance and even encouragement of Toni and George's relationship, it's not the affair, but the disillusion of the affair that leads some to suspect either of the Mannixes. Toni was reportedly inconsolable after Reeves left her for Lemon. According to rumors, she even stole George's pet schnauzer for revenge,
What'd the
knowing
dog do?
it would break his heart. Some suspect Eddie could have planned George's death out of devotion to his upset wife. It's also possible Toni herself commissioned George's death with some of Eddie's guys, without Eddie's knowledge.
Fuck.
Lending credence to this theory, author E.J. Fleming details that George survived a series of suspicious accidents in the months before his death, which would jive with Eddie's modus operandi. In April, for instance, George was in a horrific car accident on the street he lived on. He crashed into a cement pole and was partially ejected through his windshield, resulting in a days-long hospitalization. A mechanic found George's car had had its brake fluid seemingly drained.
Dude.
I know it doesn't take a lot to get me paranoid, but this is a one-way ticket to Paranoid Town for Ryan Bergara. If you drain my car of brake fluid, don't do it unless you want to see my katana in your nightmares.
You have a bad dream about Ryan with a katana, you wake up and you go, oh God, oh, and then you're in the corner.
They wake up and Ryan's katana can't hurt me, and I whisper, yes, it can.
Some sources claim the gun that killed Reeves belonged to Eddie, though the police stated Reeves had bought the gun. Unfortunately, the gun ended up being less helpful than it could have been in the investigation. The firearm had recently been oiled and did not retain any fingerprints. Casting doubt on the murder theory is the fact that the bedroom upstairs reportedly had no windows, meaning
I would prefer
an
a dorm
assassin
with no
would have had
windows.
to sneak past the 4 people downstairs to get to their target. Some people point to William Bliss's appearance as being suspicious for this reason.
Yeah.
Perhaps Bliss, who, recall, was essentially unknown to Reeves, but nevertheless at his house at 1 a.m. on a Tuesday, was used as a distraction while a second man went upstairs to kill Reeves. This would also explain why Bliss was the one to dash upstairs after hearing the gunshot, despite being the one least connected to the actor.
So maybe in this scenario, I guess he is in cahoots with somebody who hasn't been named. Maybe someone
Yeah.
could have played the long game, hidden in a closet,
Sure.
and just waited.
What is this room with no windows?
Yeah,
that sounds awful.
It sounds like Vegas. Why would you want
Sounds
to stay
awesome
in a
to
casino?
me.
Put some windows on that thing, bro.
Perhaps no one was as convinced that Reeves had been murdered as Tony Mannix. At 4:30 a.m. on the morning George died, Tony placed a call to Phyllis Coates, who played Lois Lane in the first season of Adventures of Superman. Coates claimed years later that Tony told her, quote, "The boy is dead. He's been murdered." End quote.
Oh, I think it.
In
Might have been this
1999,
Tony
publicist
bitch.
Edward Losey, who had become close to Tony when she was in her 70s, detailed being in the room when Tony, who was, quote, "absolutely terrified of going to hell," confessed to a priest that she and Eddie had Reeves killed. Losey claimed that the priest told him not to tell anyone about the confession, or it would endanger his life. Losey only came forward after he believed anyone who could do anything to him was already dead.
Yeah.
Of course,
Smart.
the big mystery remains. How could a murderer get away with 4 potential witnesses sitting downstairs?
You befriend
were
an
in on
older
it.
woman.
Okay.
She's like in her 70s.
I'm listening.
You go to the retirement home
Oh,
every
what do we do
Friday.
there?
You start this beautiful friendship. You play chess with this old woman.
Wait, what about like the sort of the water yoga or whatever? Am I like carrying her around?
No, I'm thinking like we have the whole montage here. You're pushing her in a wheelchair through the Long Beach Aquarium.
Is she smooching
You're-
me?
No.
No.
You're playing chess. You're watching funny old movies that she's telling you from
Oh,
her
yeah,
time, and
yeah.
you're laughing,
Bringing
eating
up
popcorn.
baby.
And then one day while you're doing chess and you move the horse, and you're just like, all right, your move. She goes, hey,
I killed JFK. Is that where you're going with that?
No.
You're like, God damn.
Oh my God.
What was it like?
you would ask, what did it feel like when someone says I murdered somebody? I think you might be a murderer. Is that all that's been holding you back?
I would only ask about JFK because it's such a historical happening.
Yeah.
You know, if she was like, I killed a dog, I'd be like, all right. I'd
Yeah.
push her into the pool and leave.
While Reeves may have been frustrated with his career, it's hard to overstate the impact he had on the public. 35 million people regularly tuned in to watch him fight evil as Superman. Unlike his character, however, the man behind the costume was not invulnerable, and his life ended in tragedy. Whether George Reeves died by suicide, accident, or murder remains unsolved.
Crazy story.
That's wild.
If you're putting your money on a theory, what are you going with here?
I'm going to have to go with suicide.
I'm gonna have to go with murder. I really
Yeah.
do think he was murdered.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I'll go with murder. I changed my mind.
Well, that was quick. You turned the corner pretty
Yeah.
I
fast.
forgot she confessed. It feels right.
It's either them or the would-be wife who's just,
Yeah.
let's
Fucking
see if this
nuts.
gun works.
Or it could
Yes.
also be suicide. Could be any of them.
So, okay.
Yeah, I think it might have been like no theory number 2 or theory number 3, because like both of those seem more likely in my opinion. Because let's face it, it seems more a bit on the side of things. I will see you guys in the next one later.